had to see this coming, right? Everybody knows how big sports gambling has become, right?
Oh, my gosh. Dude, I just read that gambling is the number one addiction of men 18 to 45 years old.
I believe it.
I would have thought, sure, it was drugs or alcohol or pain pills, but it is gambling.
Well, this is kind of hit with a couple of sports now. There's been rumors. You saw it in the Rick will hate this, but there were, the refs during a couple of games were placing bets on on other teams, like family members of some of the refs on the game, on like the Chiefs game was a big one a couple of years back or whatever when all this started. Now it's kind of gone to a new level. You've heard the Shohei Ohtani stuff, right? The guy signed a $700 million contract with the Dodgers. Now his interpreter has gone in and made transfers out of his account to the tune of millions of dollars to pay off gambling debts. Ohtani comes out and says he doesn't know about it, but anybody who knows anything about betting will tell you that you have to have some form. They're not going to let millions of dollars of bets run through you unless they know you're good for that amount of money. Like Rick and I could not rack up $2 million worth of gambling debts because they're going to be like, how the hell are you going to pay this back? Like, it just doesn't work that way. So you have to have, Shohei Ohtani rolls into the betting box. Hey, I'm placing a bet for Shohei Ohtani. Oh, he just signed a $700 million contract. Let it ride. No big deal. We do that. I need your house, your car, the homes of your firstborn children, and everything else to collateral that bet. So there's a lot of stuff in the Ohtani thing that doesn't necessarily hold a lot of weight. Like, you have to think somebody had to be good for that money in order for it to go through. So the fact that he's saying he doesn't know about it makes it kind of sketch.
Could it have been through a bookie who knew his connections and knew he had access to that kind of money?
Yeah, but then the bookie is letting essentially this guy steal from another guy.
I don't think they care.
Maybe not. And I mean, maybe that's potential too. But I think more than likely he placed some bets, and didn't think he'd get caught, or I don't know how, thought it was okay. Either way, it's not what baseball wants right now. But the big thing came out. This is crazy. I believe it's Taylor or Turner. From the Toronto Raptors. He's a power forward. Jonte Porter, sorry.
Yeah.
He placed a couple of bets over the course of this season.
Oh, really?
And not through him directly, but he had his player parlay. Two of his player parlays were the biggest played out this year, one of which was something to the tune of like under 2, he would take under 3 3-point shots for the entire game. So in one game, he took 2 shots.
So he's making bets on himself?
Supposedly, that's the thing. That's what he's being. So supposedly, he was taking bets. He made 2 3-point shots, then said, I aggravated an eye injury and left the game after 3 minutes. And that payout the next day, the under on that payout the next day, was the biggest NBA payout all season long. Then he followed that one up with like another game a month later, where he did the same thing, took the under, and then after was in the game for 2.5 minutes and then said he was sick and left the game. And now it, too, was a huge under payout. So they're investigating it because even though it didn't come from him directly, you had a bunch of bets that came in on this parlay that were all $10,000 plus from multiple accounts, and it was a massive payout. And it's great that the NBA wants to investigate this now, but the problem you have is it's already done. It's already paid out. If you've already betted on this and you're whoever.
You can't get that back, right?
Right.
You can't go back to those people and say, he cheated. So you got to pay the money back.
Yeah, you've already lost the money. So it's great that you can investigate it after the fact, but this kind of stuff is going to keep happening.
Now, see, and then I hear that kind of stuff, and like you said, I hate to hear it's when people talk about, the NFL's fixed. And I'm like, well, then why do you watch? Why would you bother, waste your time, money, energy, emotion on something that's rigged?
Same reason you watch the WWE.
Well, I don't want to see the WWE, though.
Right, but I'm saying that's why people watch football.
But...
Not the only reason, but it would be a reason you would keep watching even if you thought it was fixed.
But you know it about the WWE going in. But here's the thing. I go back to the 49ers-Packers playoff game. Then, the Packers almost upset them in San Francisco in the playoffs this year. The Packers kicker missed that last-second field goal to take the lead, and my dentist is a big Packers fan. He's like, I don't believe he missed that. Legitimately, he says, I think he missed that on purpose. He got paid off for missing it. I'm like, stop! I don't want to hear this. I do not want to hear this. But when you tell me stories about Porter like that, it's like, to me, that's not the NFL rigging the game, but you can see where a player could get himself. A kicker doesn't make what a quarterback makes in the NFL. So if he wanted to make $5 million for himself, he could work that out. Well, I'll blow the kick at the end of the game, and that hurts me to my core.
But I think he has a two-way contract worth $415,000. He's played 26 games with the Raptors this season, averaging 13 minutes a game and 4.4 points a game. So you should never. The first game was January 6th. Clippers. He played 4 minutes and 24 seconds, scored 0 points, made no three-pointers while racking up 1 assist, 3 rebounds, exited the game, and the Raptors said he re-aggravated an eye injury. The second game was the 20th, just last week. Raptors and Kings. His playing time was limited, 2 minutes, 43 seconds. He exited the game early, this time saying it happened due to illness, no points, and dished out no assists while finishing with only 2 rebounds.
Wow.
So they're investigating the games because of the irregular betting patterns of Porter's prop bets. In the first game, there were prop lines available for Porter's points over or under 5.5, rebounds 4.5, and assists 1.5. He made 3-pointers, 0.5. In the second, Porter had lines available roughly 7.5 points and 5.5. The under was paying out massively.
Wow.
But again, I left after 2 minutes because I was sick. Why'd you even play?
2 minutes?
Right. If you were that sick that you couldn't make it 2 minutes, then you probably didn't even need to start the game.
He's no Michael Jordan, is he?
Right. Jordan won a championship with the flu, dude.
I know.
So, yeah, but this stuff's going to happen now. It's going to keep happening because you've opened, much like social media, you've opened Pandora's box. You can't put it all back in.
Well, you've just made it easy to gamble. Right. With an alias, with whatever. Whereas it used to be you had to find an illegal bookie or you had to be in Vegas.
This guy, $415,000 a year. He placed a ton of bets, multiple thousands of dollars on. You're making your salary in a couple of bets. Because nobody.
That's what I was talking about with the kicker. Yeah.
And again, you're not betting on LeBron James. You're betting on a bench player.
Yeah.
And making bank.
Wow.
How do I get in on this action?
So, yeah.
Well, when I read that, the story about gambling being the number one addiction of men 18 to 45, then there were, I look at comments on the story. I couldn't believe how many women were posting about how they had to kick their husbands out because they were gambling away all their money and their lives were destroyed by their husbands just throwing their money away. And they couldn't feed their children because he gambled away all their money. And it was just story after story. And I'm like, this is like really, I always knew gambling was an addiction and you could go down that hole. I don't think I personally know anybody. I don't know that they're addicted to gambling, but it's obviously a big problem.
Well, it's going to keep getting bigger.
Yeah. And then, I always hear these ads for these gambling places. And then they say, if you have a gambling problem, call this number, because we encourage responsible participation. And I'm like, F you don't give a damn. You just want every dime you can get out of everybody. You live for gambling addicts, but you got to put it in your commercial because it's some sort of rule.
Well, and with the Shohei Ohtani thing, his people declined to say which authorities contacted to report the theft. But the feds are involved in this because the money level is so high. And he's fired his interpreter and got a new interpreter. But, maybe Ohtani's just letting this guy bet with his money or whatever and then paid it all back because he's got enough that $4 million to him, not a big deal. But it's still like, you've let gambling into a sport that for the longest time, baseball's one of the major reasons Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame is baseball's cardinal rule is no gambling. And now you've thrown gambling baseball's right in the middle of it, like every other sport, because there's so much money to be made on it.
Yeah.
Did you know that there is a helpline in Ohio? If you know yourself that you have a gambling problem, you can get yourself put on a list so that you are not allowed to go to like the casino and bet. They
Can
won't
you
let you
imagine?
in. You can put yourself. Now, I don't know how many people have that type of control in their lives where they would voluntarily put themselves on a
Sure.
list, but you can do that, and I do think it's widely used by people.
Eric said, this is why I can't watch sports anymore, college or professional, because money is ruining everything. And Christine said, hey, guys, we need to tell Lewis. That's way too many numbers this early in the morning.
Oh, don't worry. My head hurts right now. Like, I need a damn Tylenol.